Good afternoon, students. So we are back with another video. So here in this video we are going to discuss, or we are going to start with the chapter 6. So the chapter name is the banking. So here we are going to discuss about the commercial banks and the central banks. So first we will discuss about the commercial banks, then we'll move on to the central bank. So then who are these commercial banks? So commercial bank is an institution which performs the functions of accepting deposit, granting loans and making investment with the aim of earning profit. For example, your State Bank of India, Punjab National Bank, UCO Bank, United Bank, Union Bank, Canara Bank, these are all the commercial banks. Okay children, so this commercial bank is one of the important unit, or you can call it the primary unit of the entire banking system of our Indian banking system. So like any other business which is, and you all know that the any business is being done to earn profit, like that only the commercial banks also aims to earn profit. So for that only they offer a variety of services to their customers. Okay, so these are the, you can call it, these commercial banks are the backbone of the economy. Okay, so because if you can see that in the economy there are household sectors as well as there are investments, productive sector, isn't it? So household sector, what they do, they saves a part of their income, isn't it? And these are made available to the productive sector for further investment. So commercial bank are those institutions which is acting as a mediator between the household sector and the productive sector. So household sector, they are taking up the savings of the household sector and giving it to the productive sector as a loan. Okay, lending it to the production sector. So the rate of interest at which the commercial banks accept deposit is known as the borrowing rate, and the rate at which the bank lend out the reserves to the investor is called the lending rate. So the difference between the two rates is known as spread. Okay, the difference between the borrowing rate and the lending rate is known as spread. It is earned by the bank. It is the profit. That spread is only the profit that are being earned by the bank. So you can call it, these commercial banks are the backbone of an economy. Okay, so there are two important functions that are being performed by this bank, okay, which can be broadly categorized as the primary function and secondary function. So first we will discuss about the primary function. So primary functions of commercial banks are important. So there are two types of two primary functions that are being performed by the commercial bank. First is the accepting deposit and second is the advancing of loans. So if we see what is this accepting of deposit, so it is one of the important function of commercial bank that they accept deposit in several forms from the customer according to the requirement of the different section of the society. The person needs to open up the account with the commercial bank and they can deposit any amount they want to deposit. So there are three kinds of deposit. If you see, the first one is the current account deposit, or it is called demand deposit. So these are the deposits in which are repayable by the banks on demand. So this kind of deposit is generally maintained by the businessmen with the intention of making transaction with such deposit. Okay, so this deposit can be drawn by a check without any restrictions. So but the thing is, apart from this deposit, in other deposit the depositor get the interest rate, but in this kind of demand deposit the banks do not pay any interest rate on this account. Rather, bank impose service charges for running this kind of account. So these are being maintained by the businessmen, the business tycoons and all. Okay, the demand deposit. Next, if you see the fixed deposit. So fixed deposit are those deposits in which the amount is deposited with the bank for a fixed period of time. So such deposits do not enjoy check facility. So if a person needs also, they will not get it. After maturity only they will get. So these deposit carry a very high rate of interest. Okay, so this is the FD. The third type of deposit is the saving deposit. So these deposit combine the features of both the current account as well as the fixed deposit. So the depositor are given the check facility to withdraw money from their account, but some restrictions are imposed on number and amount of withdrawals in order to discourage frequent use of saving deposit. So they carry a rate of interest which is less than the rate of interest on the FD. Okay, so fixed deposit carry a high rate of interest. Saving deposit also, the depositor will get the interest rate, but it will be less than the FD. Okay children, so these are the three types of deposit: demand deposit, fixed deposit and saving deposits. This is the first primary function of the commercial bank. if you see the another primary functions of commercial bank is the advancing loans. So the deposit, okay, the deposit that are being received by the bank, the bank do not keep them idle. So after keeping out of the total deposit, after keeping certain cash reserve, the balance is given to the borrowers and interest is charged from them, which is only the main source. These are only the main income of the bank. So bank generally earn from this only. Okay. So different types of loans and the advances made by commercial bank are, number one is the cash credit. So cash credit is a loan given to the borrower against his current asset like shares, bonds, debentures, stock, etc. Okay. So in this cash credit, loan is given against the current asset. Okay, so a credit limit is sanctioned and the amount is credited in his account. The borrower may withdraw any amount within his credit limit and interest is charged on the same amount actually withdraw. So there is a credit limit is there in this kind of cash credit. Okay, so this is one type of loan. Another is the demand loans. So demand loans refers to those loans which can be recalled on demand by the bank at any time. Okay, so the entire sum of demand loan is credited to the account and the interest is payable on the entire sum. So this is the demand loan which the bank, and if someone has taken demand loan, then it can be recalled on demand by the bank at any time. Another type of loan is the short-term loans. Short-term loans, these are given as a personal loans against some collaterals. Okay, so collateral can be the house of the paper, house of the car, isn't it? Anything can be the collateral. So the money is credited to the account of the borrower and the borrower can withdraw money from his account and interest is payable on the entire sum of loan granted. Okay, so these are the three types of loans, isn't it? Okay, children. So that are being advances by the commercial banks. So cash credit, demand loans and the short term loans. So from these functions we get to know that the condition for a financial institution to become a bank. So every financial institution they cannot be called the bank. So for the financial institution to be called as a bank, they need to fulfill these two functions only. A financial institution can be a banking institution only when it performs both the function of accepting deposit and advancing of loan. So both the function it should perform, accepting of deposit and advancing of the loan. So for example, post bank office are not bank as they do not perform the function of lending, although they accept the deposit from the public. Similarly, LIC, etc. are not the bank as they do not accept your checkable deposit from the public, although they perform the function of lending money. So for any financial institution to become a bank, they should perform both the function of accepting deposit and advancing of loans. So now moving on to the secondary function of your commercial bank is the in addition to primary function, the commercial bank also perform the various secondary function. So the first secondary function is overdraft facility. Okay, so it is a kind of facility which is given to a customer to overdraw his current account up to an agreed limit. So they can overdraw. Okay, the facility is generally given to the respectable and the reliable customer for a short period of time. So customer have to pay interest to the banks on the amount overdrawn by them. Okay, so this is the overdraft facility. Second is the discounting bill of exchange. So it refers to a facility in which if a holder is having a bill of exchange and that bill can be discounted with the bank before the maturity. So after deducting some commission, the banks pays the balance to the holder. On maturity, banks get his payment from the party which has accepted the bill. So it is a bill of exchange, means that before maturity the bill can be discounted. Okay. So the third function is the agency function. Some commercial bank also perform certain agency functions for their customers. For these services, the banks charge some commissions from their clients. Some of the agency functions are transfer of funds. Transfer of funds means bank provide the facility of economical and easy remittances of funds from place to place with the help of instrument like demand draft, mail transfer, etc. So this is a transfer. Funds can be transferred easily from place to place. So collection and payment of various items. Commercial bank also collects checks, bill, interest, dividends, subscription, loans and other periodical receipts on behalf of their customer, and also make payment of taxes, insurance, etc. on standing instruction of the clients. Collection of payment and various items. Third is the purchase and sale of foreign exchange. The commercial banks are authorized by the central bank to deal in the foreign currency also, or foreign exchange also. So they buy and sell foreign exchange on behalf of their customer and help in promoting international trade. Okay. Another function is the purchase and sale of the securities. Okay, purchase and sell of securities. So commercial bank buys and sell stocks and shares of the private companies as well as government security on behalf of their customers. So this is one function. Another is the income tax consultancy. They also give advice to their customer on matters relating to income tax and even prepare their income tax returns. So another function is trustee and executor. The commercial bank preserve the wills of their customer as trustee and execute them after the death as an executor. Okay, so the letters of reference, they give information about the economic position of their customer to traders and provide the similar information about the other traders to their customers. So as a letter of reference is also the commercial bank provide. So these are the agency functions of the commercial bank. If you see the general utility functions of the fourth one is the general utility functions of bank. So commercial bank renders some general utility services like locker facility. So commercial banks provide facility of safety vaults or locker to keep valuable articles of the customer, the gold, valuable papers. If the customer is having locker in any of the commercial banks, so they can keep there. Traveler checks. So traveler checks, these commercial banks issue traveler checks to the customer to avoid risk of taking cash during their journey. Okay, so they are being provided with a traveler check. Another is the letter of credit. They also issue letter of credit to their customer to certify their credit worthiness. Okay. Underwriting security. Commercial bank also undertake the task of underwriting security. As public has full faith in the credit worthiness of the banks, public do not hesitate in buying the securities underwritten by banks. Another general utility function of commercial bank is the collection of statistics. Banks collect and publish statistics relating to trade, commerce and industry. Hence they advise customer on financial matters as well. Okay, so these are the four secondary functions. So they are the overdraft facility, then discounting bill of exchange, agency function and the general utility function. So these are the secondary functions of the commercial bank. So commercial bank, in this way they receive deposit from the public and use this deposit to give loans. However, if you see that the loan offered that are offered by the commercial bank and are much more than the deposit they receive. So this function of bank is known as the money creation. So in this way the commercial bank is creating the money. Okay children, so in this way how the credit are being created by the commercial bank. So this is only the process of the credit creation of the commercial bank. So in detail about the credit creation we are going to discuss in our next video.